Since 1985, Sprecher Brewing Company has been committed to brewing a diverse variety of quality beers and sodas. Along with their commitment to a diverse product, they also have a strong commitment to diversity. Sprecher Brewing Company is proud to be a sponsor of the Focus on Diversity program. We are honored to participate in Milwaukee's great brewing tradition, and we're grateful for the opportunity to present our best to you.
African Americans and Hispanics harbor many misconceptions about Alzheimer's disease, and 3 New York police officers finally faced the music on the shooting death of Sean Bell. That and much more on the next Focus on Diversity. It's right here. It's right now.
Focus on Diversity with Troy Shaw.
Hello, I'm Troy Shaw, and welcome to the Focus on Diversity program. Let's introduce our guest. First, we have Timothy Baldwin. He is a local attorney right here in southeastern Wisconsin. And Robert Miranda, our Robert Miranda always, he is the editor of the Milwaukee Spanish Journal. And now for our wild card. She is Karen Otteson of Karen Otteson and Associates, a local public relation and marketing firm. Gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, I should say, let's get into the discussion. Surrendered. 3 police officers surrendered early last week to face charges in a shooting that killed an unarmed groom on his wedding day and stirred outrage throughout New York City. The officers are accused of firing nearly 50 shots at 3 young men in a car outside a nightclub, killing Sean Bell and seriously wounding 2 of his friends. Now, we talked about this in the past, and this is just completely unfathomable to me, because for the most part, these police officers, it took this long for them to surrender. Karen, what are your thoughts about this? This is a case that is really stirring up a lot of people all over the country.
It's interesting because on the topic, when I went to do a little bit of research to just familiarize myself with the case, it was interesting because there were a lot of components missing, and obviously attorneys can speak to this much better than myself, but I found myself missing some of the real essence of how the scenario. And so what I was seeing was the media overpowered with the debate, but I was missing some of the factual points that would kind of bring me to sort of an informed perception on what's happening. So I found myself missing some of the information that would lead me to kind of understand why it took so long. Obviously, 50 shots, it's a lot.
50 shots. Timothy, what's your thoughts? As a lawyer, what do you...
Well, I agree with Karen, even as a lawyer. The reason she felt there were facts missing is because there are facts missing. We have a police force that says they thought they saw a gun. Mm-hmm. I mean, this is a national story, but this is what's happening every day. Mm-hmm. Police are writing in reports occasions or events that they perceived or thought to have happened, and it's not true. It doesn't pan out in the facts. Mm-hmm. I think America should take a hard look at this case and see what's happening in our court system every single day when law enforcement has been given so much power to have basically their word put in a report made gospel.
This is reminiscent all over the country, Robert. I mean, here in southeastern Wisconsin, where we all live and breathe, I mean, there are people who have a fear here about some of the shootings that have happened by police officers as well. What's your take on this?
Well, sure. We have had our experiences here in Milwaukee. The Frank Jude case, the one that strikes out for the Latino community is the Glover and Prado situation, where you had an unarmed individual shot with over 20 rounds of a .45 caliber weapon. And again, I agree with Timothy in regards to this need to look at the police department itself and reviewing these cases that have in the past come up that were suspect. Mm-hmm. And the fact that a cop's word is just unquestionable, that this notion of infallibility of the police department is something that is a sacred cow that we should not touch. I'm going to give kudos to the district attorney, Chisholm, for creating that position to review police misconduct. It's a long time coming, but I think that, you know, under McCann's tenure, we had a lot of injustice that occurred, and it mostly occurred against the black community.
And those are two local DAs right here. I should say one of them is a former local DA, and the other one is the current DA. Chisholm is the current DA here in Southeast Wisconsin. Let's move on to the next subject. Misinformed. A new survey showed that blacks and Hispanic communities harbor many misconceptions about the Alzheimer's disease. The survey shows that black and Hispanics caregivers were more likely than caregivers of any other race to believe that Alzheimer's is a natural part of aging. I mean, that's just a matter of education, I think. I mean, Timothy, when you think of Alzheimer's, you think that it's a disease that's probably non-treatable. It's going to basically degenerate you into nothingness. What's your thoughts?
Well, there's definitely a huge gap, no doubt, in the health care of minorities in this country and that of non-minorities. As a result, the technologies that have advanced healthcare and progressing life among non-minorities has increased the life expectancy and lifespan of non-minorities. But it has not impacted the quality of life among minorities. So I don't see it as a misconception. It is for them, in terms of reality, a process of aging, because they are not going to get the health care quality of health care that non-minorities are getting in this country.
I would agree with you hardly. Now, Karen, apparently minorities such as African Americans and Hispanics aren't thinking that in the context of it being a disease that happens in some genetic-oriented fashion. What do you think?
I think part of the statistics there were interesting because obviously higher in the minority community, but still 53% in the community, the general public, are also not in touch with the disease and the manifestation. I know personally my dad passed away a couple years ago, attributed partially to Alzheimer's. Our struggle as a family in working with the physician, what should we expect? What should we do? This all places tremendous pressure on the family to make the next choice for care. And I think in minority communities, you're also dealing with perhaps the lack in access to the medical community. But even given that, we felt as a family, help us understand, how do we take care of Dad? You don't want to put your family member, your loved one, in institutionalized care.
I want to give the last word to Robert, please.
I think for the Latino community, it's also an issue of the culture, the machismo kind of attitude that especially men have, where they don't have to go to the doctor and don't want to be seen by doctors because
that can be
they feel
deadly.
very,
we all know
very healthy. And I think that's experienced in other cultures. But I agree that there is a lot of issues related to resources, not only in the public sector, but in the private homes where people just cannot afford to get the kind of help medically they need to deal with that issue.
It's a really, really sad situation. And when we come back, we're going to keep the heat. Stay with Focus on Diversity. We'll be right back.
CCI is a 5-year-old firm headquartered in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. We are an SAP solution firm specializing in SAP software and training solutions for our clients. What makes CCI so special is our staff. We bring in the best and brightest minds for everything we do. We are a revolutionary in our training, education, and solution implementation because we take responsibility. What a revolutionary idea, responsibility. We are proud to be one of the Future 50. Thank you.